if his generation is not playing little league football, then it's going to be hard for his generation to get into wanting to play in the pros.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny we talking about this right now. Like, it's just 5, 10 years go by fast, man, and after effects of what we're talking about right now, just to see it just unravel. I I hope it don't go. I love football. I love watching the game. I just hope they don't make the game so, it's so strict the way, contact is going, because like now, I understand the quarterback.
Now they changed the rules so much to where you can't even touch nobody. Back in during football season, remember we played the interview with Ray Lewis when he was complaining about all the new rules and how soft they made the game to where, you can't touch the wide receiver. You got to let the receiver catch the football and and then let him make a football move, then hit him. Before you can hit him before he even catches the football, because the whole point is not to let him catch the football. Now you got to let him catch it and make him actually run a little bit before you can even touch him. No, you can't touch nobody now. If you touch the quarterback, man, it's a 15-yard penalty. And they got that Tom Brady rule where you can't hit the quarterback below the waist.
But see, that's what I'm saying. I understand, but it's just softening up the sport. But I don't know. I remember when they used to rock Lloyd Taylor, used to rock them quarterbacks. Man, you remember?
Yeah, I remember. But and then also too, what doesn't help though is that also too you got a lot of retired players suing the NFL right now because of that concussions. And right now, Junior Seau's family is suing the NFL because they blame the NFL for the reason why Junior Seau committed suicide.
Nah, they can't do that, man. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, that, they can't blame the NFL for that, man. As much as I feel for the family, what happened, it happened. You can't change that. I know y'all angry. Y'all mad, y'all want your husband, and I know y'all want y'all father back, but, you can't sue the NFL for that. You could sue, and they already gave them a settlement of like $44 million, like a settlement.
Yeah, but the family turned it down.
How you gonna turn down $44 million?
Because they want the NFL to be held responsible for, Junior Seau committing suicide. They believe the NFL is at fault for Junior Seau committing suicide.
So tell me this. Okay, I heard what you just said. So what do they want? They want more money? Or they want it to be a criminal?
I don't know exactly what they want, but they just feel like the NFL needs to be held responsible.
They giving them $40 million. How responsible? They're like suing. It's like you want. You understand what I'm saying though? Don't you understand? Like.
Yeah. You're trying to figure out, are they in it for the money? What's the point? You just turned down a settlement, but I don't know. I don't know what at the end of the day what they want. I don't understand. I don't understand how the NFL could be held responsible for Junior Seau committing suicide, especially since he committed suicide after he already retired. It wasn't like he was so stressed out from playing in the NFL and that he killed himself while he was still playing. He already retired when he killed himself. So he wasn't even playing football. It could just be he was going through some stuff at his life at that time and he just couldn't deal with it anymore. I don't know. But as far as his family's concerned, they want the NFL to be held responsible because they feel like it's the NFL's fault for him killing himself.
I do not agree. I just can't agree with. But I don't even think it's my business to even speak on it. But I think I need to stand down. I'm open-minded, but I think I probably need to stand down from that. Because, that's personal. That's somebody. I just really don't think that. I just trying to, like I said, I'm trying to figure out how they're going to Like, wasn't no crime was committed. That's the thing. Like, you can't take them to criminal court and have people prosecuted and put in jail. So, I mean, they settling with y'all for $44 million. Y'all turned that down. Y'all said you want them to be held responsible. What I'm thinking is the ultimate goal, what you trying to do, just make the NFL go under and just ban them with no more football being played? That's the whole thing? That's what they want? Is that the goal? Is that what they shooting for?
Okay, according to his family, according to his wife, his ex-wife, they divorced, but his ex-wife part his ex-wife, his two kids, and his mother, they're the ones that are involved in this lawsuit.
Okay.
And the ex-wife says that they want the NFL to be held accountable. They want the NFL is not taking ownership of what they claim they did to her husband. And so pretty much what they filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the NFL.
Now, how far do you think they're gonna go?
I don't know. Because like we talked about this last month when it came out that both retired NFL players and retired NHL players were suing both leagues over concussions because hockey players are complaining about the same thing that football players are, and that is both leagues, both the NHL and the NFL, hid information about concussions. All this information that's coming out right now about the long-term effects of concussions, these players believe that the NFL had this information during the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, but never said anything until now, because obviously it's internet, you can just Google everything. And so now all this information is coming out like it's brand new information, but these hockey players and these football players are saying that the NFL and the NHL have always had this information, and they just never said anything to us. They hid it from us. It's the same reason why Vince McMahon is getting sued right now, because a lot of former wrestlers are suing Vince McMahon because they're saying Vince McMahon had this information as well, but Vince McMahon never did anything to protect them. And so, go ahead, Bowden.
I want to ask you what are the concussion? Okay, what are the short-term effect, and what is the long-term effect of having a concussion? Just one.
Well, I could tell you the short-term effect. I could tell you the short-term effects because I've had concussions before, and so like short-term effects is like you lose your memory. Okay. And like for me when I got my concussion, to this day I can't even tell you what happened that day. I don't even remember how I even got the concussion. I just know what people tell me what happened. But for me personally, I can't remember. It's like that whole entire day or two, it just completely erased from my memory. I don't remember what happened, where I was at. I don't remember. So you lose your memory. As far as long term, they have this thing called the CTE, and it's like a brain disease, and that from repeated multiple concussions, it can cause like a dementia, aggression, which means you start becoming violent all of a sudden, confusion, you start forgetting where you're at, and depression. And so Junior Seau, when they did the autopsy, they found out he had CTE. And according to doctors, most people who get CTE are football players, hockey players, wrestlers, and boxers. Those four professions get more CTE than the average human being. And just like anybody who's ever had a concussion before, the doctor always tell you when you have a concussion, it's a lot easier to get a second one after you already had the first one because your brain all of a sudden becomes sensitive. So, like, for me, since I've had concussions before, I could just easily bump my head right now, and I can easily get another concussion. Because my brain is a lot more sensitive now than the average person because I've had concussions before. Now, all this information about CTE, again, is just now coming out. But what these football players, these hockey players, and these wrestlers are complaining is that, Vince McMahon, the NFL, the NHL, they've always had this information, but they never said anything to us. We're just now finding out about it. And even though the media and everybody else wants to act like all this information is new that just came out, these football players, hockey players, and wrestlers are saying they've had this information since the 70s and 80s and the 90s and 2000s, but never said anything to us. So we're out here putting our lives on the line, not knowing the dangers of playing the sport. And that's why now you're seeing a lot of football players retiring at the age of 24, 25, 26, 27, because they're afraid of getting CTE.
Yeah.
And so to answer your previous question about how far would all these lawsuits go, I don't know. It all depends on how much did the NFL know, how much did the NHL know, how much did the Vince McMahon and WWE knew.
Yeah. But the love of the sport, the love of the game will keep people playing. I mean, football is America's sport.
Yeah, but once upon a time, baseball was American sport, and look how that sport just fell off the mat. So, I mean, things do change.
Yeah, things do change, but, like I said in the beginning of the show, not the beginning, but in the middle of the topic, everything has a risk. You know what I'm saying? Anything that you do, they have a risk. When you become a police officer, you got a certain risk. Football player, certain risk. Baseball player, certain risk. A pitcher, certain risk. You know what I'm saying? Becoming a pitcher, certain risk. Running back, certain risk. You a quarterback, that's high risk, but you're a leader of the team. But you high risk of getting concussion. You know what I'm saying? Even NASCAR have a certain risk. But it's a sport, You can't be scared to live now. You know what I'm saying? You can't. But at the same time, the information being withheld, I don't agree with it. I don't agree NFL withholding the information, or the NHL withholding information, letting the people know the risk. I mean, if they had this information all them years and not educate the players on it, then that's a lawsuit. I know. But if the players knew what they were getting themselves into before they got into it, they signed the contract. Even when you play, I remember when I was playing football, I was playing Pop Warner. I was playing Kentucky called Bud Hudson football. And we had to sign a little waiver in case of injury, death, and whatnot, But
sorry to cut you off about it. Sorry to cut you off. I just also wanted to say, too, because I'm reading on CTE right now, Chris Benoit, his autopsy showed that he also suffered from CTE as well. So since CTE causes aggression, that can explain why he did what he did.
He just went off and killed this whole family and himself. Yeah. CTE. And what is CTE? What is CTE? What the acronyms? What does that mean? Like each letter.
Chronic traumatic encephalopathy. I think I said that right. The E part is a long word, but it's chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
Hey, spell it out. The E word.
It's a ENCEPHALOPATHY.